Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today we are playing To Win or To Lose, featuring Toluz the Clever Conductor. So this is another rare from Streets of New Capenna that I am taking off playing 4 of. He is a 3 costing in Esper colours, legendary human rogue. When Toluz enters the battlefield it connives. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile them from your graveyard. When it dies, put the cards exiled back into your hand. So basically, whenever we discard, whether that's through conniving with Toluz themselves, conniving another way, or discarding any other way, the cards go under Toluz, and assuming that he doesn't get exiled, or she, sorry, I think maybe, doesn't get exiled, we get those cards back. So basically, exile, nasty, but destroy and stuff against Toluz, great, because we get loads of cards back into our hand. You know, you're often talking 3-4 cards even after only having to lose down for a turn or two. So this is what we're trying to sort of build around and play with today. What I have gone with is basically a bit of a sort of fun meme version, which is rogues, because Toluz is a human rogue, and rogues were sort of good at one point, but due to the sort of rotating out of Drown in the Lock and other useful cards that make them better, we haven't seen a lot of play. But today we are pairing Toluz with Soaring Thought Thief, which is the kind of main rogue that you need to enable the deck, because it's a blue and a black, flash flying 1/3. As long as they have 8 or more cards in their graveyard, rogues get +1/+0, so it's kind of got a slight Lord effect, and whenever a rogue attacks, they mill 2 cards. So whenever 1 or more rogues, so it only triggers once on each combat, but they very quickly get to 8 cards in their graveyard with this, which then makes all of our rogue get 1 bigger, which makes Toluz a 4/1 if you didn't connive away a non-land, or a 5/2 if you did. So a pretty strong stat line as opposed to a 3/1, which sounds quite bad for 3. Other rogues were running 4 Merfolk Wind Robbers to help mill the opponent out. They also sacrifice later to draw us some cards. We're running 2 Fairy Vandals, which is a reprint. So 1 in a blue, flash flying. So again, it's got that flash, which is nice, so that we can hold open other cards and just develop our creatures if we don't need to respond to the opponent. Whenever you draw your second card, put a 1/1 counter on Fairy Vandal. Obviously a lot of synergy with Connive, because Connive is a draw and discard, so you end up putting counters on Fairy Vandal quite often. We're running 1 Vampire Nighthawk Scavenger, Vampire Rogue, Flying Death Touch Lifelink, gets more power the more different card types they have in their graveyard. And we're running 2 Zarathan the Trickster, which is basically has ninjutsu for rogues, and when it does combat damage to a player, we can put a permanent from their graveyard onto the battlefield. The reason I'm including 2 copies of this is because we still do run into reanimator decks, things like trying to reanimate Velomachus Lorehold and etc. And this is a way of us punishing them for running that. So they put it in their graveyard, and we can get it back out of their graveyard on turn 4, which is normally before they can do it, because they're tending to try and play it on turn 5 with Invoke Justice. So yeah, it's to punish reanimator decks and give the opponent something to think about. It works quite nicely in mirrors as well sometimes. If they're conniving good cards into their graveyard, we can get them back out. Speaking of conniving, we're running 3 Raffine. Raffine is no surprise to anyone in this meta. You see loads of Raffine decks all over the place. Anything in Esper colours will be running 4 Raffines. The ward makes it particularly nice, but again, nice connive synergies for us. 3 Kaitos, because it can discard cards, so you know, even if we're not attacking, we can be getting those cards back with Toluz, and it's just a nice sort of value engine for the deck. And then what I'm running basically the rest of my cards are a suite of 1 and 2 costing interaction cards that are either counters or instant removals of some kind, which the idea being we've got this kind of blend of all of them that we can then filter through and get the ones we need depending on the matchup, using all of our various connive and draw abilities. So that is the deck. It's kind of a bit of a, I mean I'm sure there's a better shell for Toluz in the sense of, you know, rogues aren't that strong due to missing some of the sort of cards that get better the more cards the opponent has in their graveyard, which is the obvious sort of rogue tactic, but it is quite an interesting deck to play. It's quite easy to sort of tech against certain decks, like 2 Test of Talents was really nice against the various Izzet and Jeskai decks. If you get rid of all their big scores or all of their, you know, expressive iterations, this can be a very nice card to have. 2 Jwari Disruptions to get our land count up, but also be a counter. Vanishing Verse, it's always worth having a couple. Only running 1 Meat Hook just because we're not running into that much very low curve aggro deck at the moment. The only one being the red-white Boros deck that's quite sort of common at the moment. But having a 3 toughness creature we can flash in, as well as a 4 toughness creature on turn 3, that deck doesn't do too well against us anyway. 2 Fading Hopes to deal with early game aggro as well. 1 Spell Pierce is always nice to keep the opponent guessing. 1 Bloodchief's Thirst, and 1 Infernal Grasp to deal with the big things. So that's the deck. It's quite a fun deck because we get to play a lot in our opponent's turn, which is always good fun. So we'll have some games and see how we get on. Alright, game 1. Good hair day for me today, look. It's not the most proactive hand, but it'll do. Yeah. I would like some creatures at some point. Would be nice. There we go. Good to see my boy back in action. Black. I'm guessing if they're playing Shigeki, they don't mind being milled. They probably want to see stuff in their graveyard, so. Foretell will be. Dunno. Poison Cup? Oh, they're running white. It's probably a Doomscar. I'm guessing this is the least useful. I'm not sure. Alright. Bye bye 1-drop. Guess they figure I don't have loads of monocolour things, which they'd be right. Guess we'll play this out. Don't want to get too land behind. Land behind? Behind on land. Come on. No, thank you. Hey, my boy. Put one of these verses under him. Should I create the ninja? Probably. It's a shame that this ninjutsu is just for rogues. It'd be so nice with these ninjas. This is where we're glad we've got Kaito, our nice value engine, down. So I could have picked Toluz up, actually, to get a Binding or a Wandering Emperor or a Shigeki, but so I guess they'll take a Wandering Emperor. Yeah. So they could exile Toluz, which would be a good move on their part. Put that Vanishing Verse in the bin. nice. Let's flash this in. Okay, they can't do it to Zarathan, so that's nice. So should we take a binding? I think so. Opponent's value game not working very well at the moment with no cards in hand. Just takes them to top deck of Shigeki though. It's quite annoying because I can't actually get rid of it, but okay, game 1. Let's try again. Okay, next game. Yakas. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Don't have the white for a fiend, but we've got a Toluz so we can find it. People see the rogue and they're like, ah, shit. They're back. They're back, baby. Put this down in our turn because we want to get the attack trigger. Okay, so we're playing against the 5 colour deck by the looks of it. It's the only reason you're running Rafine's Tower and Zeatora. Yeah, okay. It's going to be a Kami War deck. Okay, good, we've got the white, so we can get Rafine going, which is what we kind of need. Okay. Hit your 1-2-3 curve and they give up. Next game. Alright. This without white isn't ideal. I think this is a mulligan, to be honest. Yeah, that's better. I mean, slow, but we have the chance of drawing a land at least. It's a shame. Shame there was no untapped land there. Any pathway or any basic would have been nice. Or a hive. Classic. Mulligan, a mana screwed hand into a mana screwed hand into it against an Izzet deck. Just give me a land. For God's sake. These, like, what should be quite edge chances seem to happen all the time, don't they? Not hitting your lands and things in a, what is this, 25 land deck? Not loads, but still. Chance of us coming back from this Izzet deck, which now has access to 6 mana. It's virtually 0, but gotta try. Yeah. I guess it's still going to be a storm deck. If it is a storm deck, I'd expect them to pass here. Oh, yeah. So, can put both of these in. Oh no, I can't, because I put this on white. Moron. Oh well. Still get the mill to 8 in the graveyard. Maybe I can find a counter, because that's what we'll need. Nope. I'm surprised I haven't found any counters or destroys, considering the total we're running. I think that's GG, isn't it? The annoying thing about this kind of deck is it takes ages, but you have to make them have it, because otherwise what's the point? So let's just get to watch the Jeskai Storm go off. So these cards basically, the object of this deck is basically they just cycle themselves and keep playing free spells, you know, spells that are net cost of 0 or less, until they can target a Goldspan Dragon with a show of confidence. But it seems they haven't done that here. I'm not sure why. So what have we got in here? There's a Goldspan that we can have for ourselves. Let's attack. The thing is, can they... They've got a Fading Hope, so no point putting Zarasan in whilst they've got that in their hand. So we can, we're one off of meat hooking this, sadly. So I can flash Thought Thief in. Probably should have played Toluz in fairness. I mean, I think the opponent could have won last game, last round, so I don't know. The thing that I find boring about this deck is it's got 0 Streets of New Capenna cards in it. I always like to play with new cards, and this always, you know, there's nothing new here. Oh, there might be a big score. Yeah, that's going to be it. One common. My hope here is that they just mill themselves accidentally. Or timeout, that's the other option. So they're playing it very slowly, so. Down to 16. $14. Did we see any show of confidence? No. Must be in their hand. They normally only run 1 or 2. Often 2. 10. It's annoying that my timer starts ticking down. There you go. Even when I don't have the option to interact with the game yet. Put it all on one gold span that I can block. Sadly, there's still a fading hope somewhere, I think. Here there is. Look, my time is going down and I have no interactive choices. All right, they've now got a second one. So even if they didn't realize, don't realize they've got their fading hope, they've got 2 that get through now. GG. Right, next one. I think if I end up running into another Jeskai Storm, it'll tip me back into best of 3, just because, yeah, I need to be running Test of Talents and stuff against those decks. Which is in the sideboard, but yeah. It's going to be another Jeskai Storm deck, or Hinata, either way. Still need Test of Talents. I mean, there's a chance I can top deck some of my counters. Expressive Iteration. No. Okay. Let's try playing Toluz out this time instead of Kaito, just for a bit of change. And also in case they've got, yeah, counter. We've got another Toluz, we don't have another Kaito. It's the Streets of New Capenna Championship winning version, isn't it? Yeah, the Hinata. Sadly, I can't do anything about, so I think we're going to get Magma Opus. Yeah. Tapping my land in my turn, but it doesn't really matter. You can play this deck wrong and still win. If I play this out, then I've got a chance of meat hooking next turn. Might have to start playing a couple of tested talents in the main deck for this, I think. Can always throw them away, so... Well, it's an easy attempt to meet Hook. If they've got a spell pierce, I'll be very sad. Or phase out. Yeah, alright. GG. We will try again. Alright, we've added 2 tested talents to the main deck for 1 Vampire Nighthawk, which is a bit of a nice to have, but the reason it's in there is to combat Goldspan, to be honest, so we'll combat it a bit more at source by taking away the instants and sorceries, and taking out 1 Meat Hook. So we've still got drawn our 1 Meat Hook, but since we really aren't seeing, I mean this is there for the Boros aggro deck, but we've got plenty of other removal. We're going to run into the Boros aggro deck now. Let's see. I just like playing my cards in their turn as well. That's what makes this deck fun. The Ogre Head Helm. That is an interesting one. My dog's having dreams. I think we'll probably grasp that rather than play this. Yeah, or grasp whatever. Yeah, whatever we need to. Like hopefully they'll do something silly like try and equip it or something like that. I'm not quite sure what they're playing this for. Grasp it now to save ourselves 2 life. So now they've got instant artifact and creature. The Nighthawk's gaining good. Oof. I think we'll play this out. Obviously, it is something that Cammy's Flare works on. I'm surprised to see Cammy's Flare around because it doesn't deal with Rafine, which is pretty much the biggest mid-range threat in the format. But yeah, the lifelink I think scared them off. GG. All right, next game. Inu. It's so easy to level up in gold because you get two things for a win. It's quite a nice hand. No white swords, the source, but no white cards. Drawn our 1 Meat Hook again. Although this is looking more. Okay, playing a mirror. Thing is, it's never a true mirror. No one else is running rogues, but see if they've got their turn 3 Rafine. No. If they do, they've put the land down wrong. Okay, that's quite nice. Quite nice against us. If only I had that a turn before. Bit late to the party there, Spell Pierce. I will take it now, though. We'd quite like that Sorin. Quite like to have a go with that. Ooh, quite like to have a go with that as well. I think I'll take the Sorin. interesting to chuck that away. What? Could have done that in my turn, bro. But fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so we can cast both of these. Don't want to make the same mistake again. I have got one more of those in the deck. It'd be quite nice here to get the Rafine out as well, although the Sorin is going to be nice. How many cards? 4. So attacking with both Thought Thieves will get them to 8. Got to miss drown in the lock though, don't we? That'd be so nice. Yeah, okay. Can't do much about that. Might get to Jouari something here. No. Just win the old school way. Mill them out. So if he blocks, my creature will take 1. His will take 3, so we can meet hook for 1. I might hold on to this just for when I get Rafine, if I get Rafine, because we don't really need any more land in play. Because they're always playing around with the Jouari, aren't they? Well, I guess on purpose, but or just luck. Jesus, so many lands. Can't really be attacking anymore either, so can't just throw these Thought Thieves in the bin. Don't want any more land now, please. I mean, if you're going to give me a land, that's the one, I suppose, but hopefully the opponent's getting close to being able to double spell now, so the Jouari could be useful again. See if they can slowly kill themselves with Lolth. Okay. Alright, that can help. I mean, it's nice on the underdog, but I think here getting rid of the card advantage is more important. So next turn we can start powering up Hall. At least we've got something to do with our mana. These spiders are a bit of a stall. I mean, I could attack, but one of the thieves dies. Fine, not blocking that. Yeah, some more card advantage. Opponent's been holding open 4 for the last couple of turns, which makes me wonder if they want a Wandering Emperor, which would be a nice use for Jawari. I think we might start attacking again. Get through these spiders. Do some milling. There we go. Had to find a use for the Jawari, and we found it. Down to 22. Assuming they'll double block one of these. So we're only down to milling 4 a turn again, but and sadly these will go down to 3 power. So we lose our 2 turn clock. Does mean they can't really use their underdogs because they don't. I don't think they want to be using lots of life up here. Use 2 more up. That's a nice card for them. My God. So many land. So I can swing at them with the Hall, they'll have to block. Swing at Kaito with this maybe. Or then maybe I'm better just putting them on. Yeah, we'll get them lower on life to make sure they cannot use these. It's not like we actually care if they draw loads, they're just going to put themselves closer to a mill loss. Need to deal with this, but I can't draw land forever. Down to a 34% chance of drawing land now. And they need a blocker for this. I mean, they're getting them out of wedding announcement at the moment, but so 1, 2, 3. All Rafines are in the bin. 1, 2. Only 2 Wandering Emperors. Okay. $16 cards, 4 life, but I'm not liking how it feels. Just give me something decent in the top deck. Quite like my one copy of Zareth's Sun, that would be nice. What are we likely to get? Toluz, that would be nice. 11% Rafine would be nice. More land. So I think we attack and keep the Hall back. At least we've got our opponent on a clock, so they can hit us for 4, 5, 6. I mean, they have 7. They have lethal if they have removal for the Hall. Oh, or if they power up Hive. I don't know if they'll notice that. Sugar. So that's, yeah, lethal. If they attack with everything, which they have. Alright, GG. Very, very close game in the mirror, but we never drew a single Rafine or Toluz that game, I think is what cost us. We'll try again. Alright. Hopefully we can do a bit better this time. A bit fed up that last game of just not drawing what I wanted, just being beaten by a flood. This looks more fun. Often this deck is good not getting flooded because of the card filtering with all the conniving going on, but cool. Our proper rogue, it's just our backup rogue. Don't really need to flash it in response, I'm just giving them more information, but I just it just speeds the game up a bit. Haven't got the land, but we don't need it this turn, just for next turn. Alright, it's a mirror again. want a chance at drawing my land really, but I might give it up for the damage. Should have held on to that. Don't really care too much about my Fairy Vandal being bounced. Would care more about the Kaito being bounced, for sure. Okay, have got a land now. Let's wait and see if we can find a different land as well. Quite like a black one. Fair enough. That's nice because we can block and sack to stop the interceptor gaining any life if that was the opponent's plan. Looks like it was. Yeah, we get people low enough on life that the underdogs aren't that useful. I think we basically want to get our flyers down and fly to victory here. I just need some answer to that 5 life gain that they've got, but so we've got 8 in the air, they'll go up to 10. So we'll in theory have lethal in the air with this, but obviously they could have removal for any of our creatures. Connive the lifelinker, I suppose. Yeah. That's a lot more life than I'd like them to gain. Interesting that it's all attacking Kaito though. Means we can just pick and choose the good blocks. 9 life is a lot more. So I guess we just block like this. So we gain 7 life. Right, so I'm going to have at least one unblocked rogue here, so I can have something out of their graveyard. Should I guess a Rafine? Probably the best thing. Obviously there's a wedding announcement as an option, but oh, there's a nice option. Put this back in just for the extra damage. Got them to 1. Okay, down to 1, but they have got a life linker that's getting massive. Even bigger than my one. So we can block with Rafine. It's got a shield counter on it. Keep the Elspeth alive. So they go back to 11. Still dead if I can find some removal, I think. No, 9, 10. Yeah, they'll be dead if I find removal for Rafine. Ah, they've got removal for my creature. Oh wait, does this shield counter prevent the damage? Hey, I hadn't really appreciated that interaction. That they don't gain the life. So I can give this flying, but they have got a life linker. Let's just see if we can find some removal for that. Not exactly. So I can give my rogues +1. God, this is tight. So I think what to do is to give this flying. Attack with everything. So we should. This is going through regard. This is getting blocked regardless. This is a good block at the moment for them. So they have to block. We want this. Then their creatures have to die, I think. Oh, we've actually got the Vanishing Curse. So if I ditch this and this and this, they all go under Toluz. We can vanish this, and then we win. Whew. It was a close one. The life link worried me, and I accidentally won really because of the shield counter interaction that I didn't even know about. So, GG. Right, next one. This isn't a very good hand, but I mean, it very much depends what the opponent's playing. That doesn't give me a lot of hints. I'm going to keep it just because I'm on the draw. Oh man, it's going to be another Jeskai deck, isn't it? Which is pretty much the worst thing. I mean, these are alright in that deck. Put the Vandal in and hope for a black land. I missed the land drop off it. That's nice. Oh, it's Grixis. It's less than ideal, isn't it? We've missed our land drop. I've only got 2 lands and 10 cards. Gonna struggle. Especially against that. I mean, thankfully I can get rid of this token in multiple ways, but okay, I can put the Kaito down now, but I'm just giving them a free attack. I think I have to. Otherwise, I mean, this is our one chance of actually making sure we draw more lands. I'm not getting screwed again. Even more filtering. Got to be able to dig a land up with Toluz plus Kaito, haven't we? Haven't we? Probably. Ditch Goldspan Dragon. Don't see that very often, especially when they're at the level to play it. It makes me worried throwing away a Goldspan. iteration. Alright, we've got a land. So we need 1 to Fading Hope this, which leaves us with 3. Probably a Toluz. Probably. Let's see. Oh, I should have Toluz before attacking if I was going to go for extra counter on the Vandal. Whoops. Can't do anything about that, sadly. Running negates makes me want to try and get rid of this now. I don't actually. No. I think I'll stick this under there. There's not a ton of exile in it, I think, in this Grixis deck. So hopefully Toluz won't get exiled. It's got 7 mana. And does nothing. I think it's an Evelyn the Covetous coming down. I mean, they could just be waiting for Memory Deluge, but when we know they've got a Goldspan in hand, it seems very unusual. Okay, I reckon play this in Swing Team. So we can Otawara because we've got Toluz, so that's nice. It's a nice thing to have. And we're swinging for 11, so they've got to do something. Okay, that's what they're doing. We can send that back to hand. Another nice interaction. Discarding these to channel. We get them back off Toluz. And yeah. So now they can't afford to put the Hull Breaker in again. Unless they drop a land and then just try and flash it, but at that point they're dead. Because we've got 8 in the air. Yeah, which they've realised. This is a strange Grixis Hullbreaker list. I mean, they're all good cards objectively, but I'm not sure what the Dragon's Fire is doing there. If they're just running it for Goldspan, it's unusual. There could be other dragons in here we haven't seen, but that's a very interesting choice, considering I can sack it. I mean, I guess they're forcing me to do that, but we actually have the extra damage off this if we need it. So, I think we will play... So it's the black... No, it is blue that I'm lacking to play. So if I play this, I can bounce it, I can't play it again. Whereas if I play this first, I can then bounce it and play it again. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to play this, which gives me presenting lethal on board. Just put that back in their hand and then we win. GG. I mean, this is a very unusual list from the opponent, I think, but a nice way to end the video, I think. So GG. Oh, maybe I'll have to play one more to get back up to platinum. All right. Next game. This is the one for platinum. This is where I always do the we'll play till we get there, and then it takes me like 8 games to win one more. This is a nice hand. put this in first, but after that we're pretty good. Playing against some kind of aggro, if they're running mountains, I would guess. And flash the Thought Thief in. These are there to help against the aggro decks, so let's see. Okay, not an aggro deck. And what is it but running basics? Given that it's basics, I assume it is just Izzet rather than Grixis or Jeskai, but they didn't counter that. Will they counter this? No. Jawari and a land. I think we'll ditch this now. We know we're not going to need. I mean, anything would be against the Fable token, but got plenty of stuff that can kill that we can find. Slow start for the opponent. So we Toluz first, so that we can, when we connive off Rafine, we get to keep them. I think I'll put a land under there. Not that I can play the Vanishing Verse this turn, but I don't want to have to kill Toluz to get it back. We'll definitely do the conniving on here for two reasons. It's harder to remove, and this has the chance of being put back in our hand to trigger the flashing guy, Zarafsan. Okay, made Platinum back, so quickly got back to as if we were Mythic at the end of last season, so we can pretend that didn't happen. And going to try and do a quickish grind up this season, so I don't get in the same position again. GG.